What you guys, got another video. Should you stop using Windows 11 because of privacy concerns, or should you not upgrade to Windows 11 because of privacy concerns? There's a lot of chatter going around on tech YouTube channels about privacy and Windows 11 and why you should not use it. Now, the privacy fearmongers out there will have you feared about what telemetry Microsoft are collecting. They'll have you believe that they are collecting your name, your IP, your location, all of the things you're doing on your home computer, and all of this nonsense. But really, the truth of it is Microsoft are just harvesting data of what your operating system is doing so they can make the operating system better. And this is all they're doing. Like many other software creators out there that will do the same thing, whether it'll be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, they all do the same. So Windows itself does harvest some form of data. You can turn a lot of this stuff off, but it will still harvest some form of data from your PC and your usage, but you can't avoid it. And if you're one of these paranoid Pete's on the internet that is that worried about this sort of stuff, then you shouldn't be on the internet. It's that simple. So Windows 11 in that sense is going to collect some form of data. You are going to have to go in and turn a lot of settings off. That's one of the biggest gripes that people don't like about Windows 11. It didn't stop there. Things got worse when recall was announced, and that was one of the really big problems that people had. I didn't like it, and millions of other people went to the internet and aired their views about recall. And I think Microsoft have now shelved that idea. Now, Copilot is another issue that people have, but you can turn this feature off. But it is another big concern for a lot of people. But if you go on the internet and see, a lot of companies are going down the AI route. So there's not a lot you can do about it. And it is part of what Windows is going to be in the future. But you can turn that feature off as well. The next big problem is Microsoft are making it more and more difficult for you to install Windows and use a local account. They are trying to force you to use a Microsoft account. Now, I don't know what their idea of this is, but it's probably to do with, security, and it's also probably to do with a bit of telemetry involved. So I personally don't like to use a Microsoft account on my main system. That's not to say that I don't use a Microsoft account. At work, I've got a Microsoft account that I log into, and at home, I use a local account. So they are the big concerns that a lot of people have with Windows. So now we know Microsoft have shelved recall, and they're probably not going to release it because of the amount of flack they got about recall. So is that enough to stop you using Windows 11 or even stop you from upgrading to Windows 11? And in my personal opinion, I think you should still consider using Windows 11 or even upgrading to it, because it is still a very nice operating system. There's just a few minor flaws with it, i.e. I don't like the start menu. Some people do. There's going to always be some minor things that people don't like about an operating system, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad enough for you not to use it. So I don't like the route that Microsoft are going down with their operating system, or the amount of bloat they're putting in, but that's just part and parcel of what Microsoft are doing with their operating system. What else are you going to use? Now, if you do want to turn off a lot of settings, you can use programs like O&O Shutup 10, ++, you can see it right here. It does work on Windows 10 and Windows 11, but don't expect this to completely stop telemetry, because it won't. So these programs all make registry changes and policy changes to the system and block a lot of stuff, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to completely disable all telemetry on Windows. I've covered loads of videos on these topics, and people put too much faith in a lot of this stuff. I use a lot of stuff like group policies just to turn a lot of features off. But you can even go as far as blocking a lot of IPs, which are another one that people like to do, to try and block Microsoft as much as they can. And again, when you look at the actual system, once you've applied all of this, it makes very little difference. Same thing for any other social media platform. If you're using social media like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all those other typical search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, whether you're using Firefox, Opera, whether you're using Google Chrome or any other particular type of browser, they all harvest information and data. And this is the thing that, put it into perspective, you're worrying about Microsoft, and yet there you are using your computer in a way that is also harvesting information. And it doesn't matter whether you're on Windows, Linux or Mac OS. VPN services are obviously still harvesting information, and this is how it works. So you can't avoid it. So get used to it, because there's not a lot you can do about it. And there's also DNS services. People change that from their ISP DNS to another DNS. So you're now using a third-party DNS to surf the web. And of course, who knows where this information's going? It's the internet. You're just putting your faith in a lot of, blurb on a website, but really we have no clue of where all this information goes. So let's now talk about our antivirus that we have on our PC, which is monitoring our browser privacy and security to keep us safe. And again, that's going to know all the URLs you're going to. It has to know whether that URL is dangerous or safe, so it's going to have to see it. And again, some information does get sent back to your antivirus company. So you can't avoid telemetry or data collection. It's just not possible on the internet. So it's not just Microsoft's fault, and it's not Windows 11's fault. The problem is way bigger than that. So if you're using Windows 11 or you're thinking about upgrading to Windows 11, stop worrying about telemetry and data collecting, because it's everywhere and you can't avoid it. So we come to the conclusion that you can limit some of it, but you're never going to be able to stop it completely. The best thing to do is stop worrying about it and just get on with using your computer for what it was designed for, whether it be watching movies, editing videos, using it for YouTube, sending emails, whatever it is, because the people that complain about telemetry and Microsoft and Windows, they will still use Windows. Even Linux users will still use Windows, whether it be in a virtual machine or whether it be just to play games that they can't play on Linux. They will still use it, and yet they'll sit there and complain about it. And everyone is the same. So once you come to terms with the fact that you can't do anything about it, you're powerless, because you're using an operating system that was created by someone else. And no matter what you do on top of the surface, running scripts or running little programs to try and stop it, it's still going to be running in the background, and a lot of that stuff can't be turned off. It's embedded deep in the code, and they don't have access to that because the code is not open source and it's locked down. So do what you need to do. Turn off the stuff you don't need and use whatever programs you want, but just try not to stress yourself about telemetry and privacy, because you lost the right to privacy the moment you went on the internet. So to answer your question, yes, you should upgrade to Windows 11 when it's time. And also, there's nothing wrong with Windows 11 apart from some of the features that you might not like Copilot, Start menu, whatever it is. There's always going to be something that someone doesn't like, and it's never going to be perfect, because no operating system is perfect no matter what it is. So with that said, I think that's going to be about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people out there that are going to try and twist and turn everything and make it sound like, I'm an hypocrite or whatever it may be. But hey, this is the world we live in. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Just want to say a quick shout out to all my YouTube members who have joined my YouTube members group, and I shall catch you in the very next video, or I'll see you on the Discord server for a chat. Bye for now.